Okay, if you have a Bible with you, I want you to turn to Judges chapter 13, verse 6 till, let's say, till 21.
He's got these cool little text things sliding up and down. I think I can do that, but I'm not going to. All right. This is my response to LJP's video. JC appeared before the birth of Samson. Well, first of all, he's simply wrong in asserting that this is JC. My first response in the comment, and I hate to reiterate what was in the comments, but I said, I am is the English for the Hebrew I, which is ani. It has nothing to do with I am of Exodus. And one of his commenters had tried to draw attention to that, but LJP did so in his video as well. I mean, remember at the beginning of his video, LJP says,
and I want you guys to carefully observe the words as I read through.
And one of the first things that he focuses in on,
when he came to the man, he said, "Are you the one who talked to my wife?" "I am," he said.
To which everybody's eyes lit up. It's like, ooh, I am. And I go on. If you were reading it in Hebrew, your glue would not hold. Your reason for excitement. Did it occur to you that Moses did not write the Torah in English? Nor did Manoah, his wife Samson, or the angel of the Lord speak English? Doesn't Hebrews say that angels are ministering spirits? Explains itself. Nothing to do with JC appearing in the Hebrew scripture. Everything to do with you wanting him to. Here's the problem. The I am in Hebrew in Judges 3 is ani. The I am in Exodus 3:14, where Moses, when he's speaking to the burning bush, speaking to God in the form of a burning bush, Moses says, well, who shall I say has sent me? And God responds and says, I am that I am. And the Hebrew in Exodus 3:14 is haya. And if you look up haya and you look up ani, you'll see that they do have different meaning. And therefore, if you were to read this text in Judges and Exodus, and you were to read this, you would read the Judges text where the angel responds, and it wouldn't send off any bells or whistles or anything. You wouldn't be saying, it's relevant because of the burning bush incident. You wouldn't see it because in the language, it doesn't use haya. It uses ani. And as such, you wouldn't make that connection. You only make that connection after it's translated out of its original language. And that's my point of saying, once you put this in the original language, all of a sudden, your argument disappears for making this relevant. You're the one who said,
carefully observe the words as I read through.
And so your response to me after I said, okay, here's the beginning of the argument. There's a problem with the Hebrew here. And consider what these guys would have been saying in the original language and figure it out. And your response to me is, man, that was a really weak argument. I was hoping your standard of knowledge of Scripture will go beyond Wayman, one of the other YouTubers, but I am starting to level you down to his level after this weak approach. That's your problem. You magnify the small bit you want to focus on, but forget, or like to ignore, the rest so you will feel happier, just like you did with the challenge of the book of Isaiah. And by the way, folks, check that out. I don't think it was that weak. Got to try harder, Prescott Johnson. You are better than this. I guess that was his encouraging word at the end of it after he, basically was like saying, very weak argument. So because of your retort, I think I find it necessary, and by the way, you offered similar retorts to others, such as the TN Goatee, and so I felt that in order to demonstrate that it was not a weak argument, I thought that I would point out more clearly that the I am, which I think I've already done in this video, is clearly not any connection, a connection that you made. So therefore, your argument, your presentation of this is weak. Anyway, Colossians 2:18. Do not let anyone who delights in false humility, that's nobody we know, and the worship of angels. Now, I'm going to make a little stretch here, just because I think that it might fit once we get into the rest of my breakdown here, that when you take an angel, now clearly as a Christian, I suspect you feel it entirely appropriate to worship JC. Most Christians do. Now, if you believe that JC is God and you are attributing worship to him, and you take this angel that appeared to Manoah, which you have, and you turn him into JC, and you worship JC, then you are attributing worship to this angel, because to you this angel is JC. That's your speculation. So do not let anyone who delights in false humility and the worship of angels. And this is what you've done. You've turned this angel into JC. You worship JC, ergo you worship this angel. And that'll disqualify you for the prize. Now, I'm being a little cute here, but I'm also being serious. Such a person goes into great detail about what he has seen, and his unspiritual mind puffs him up with idle notions. This, my friend, is an idle notion that you've concocted, and my concern is not that you figured this out, because there have been a lot of people that have thought this long before you came along. In fact, I would have been one of them many years ago. Looking for the appearances of JC in the Hebrew Scriptures is not something new or unusual, and your discovery of him in this text in Judges 13 is not something new either, which is why I played the little game and basically was asking you to comment on whether other appearances of the angel of the Lord also were not JC appearing in the Hebrew text. And you were willing to say absolutely to, which one was it? The one that appeared to, if the angel of the Lord is JC in Judges, do you also believe that other appearances of the angel of the Lord in the Bible are also JC? You responded, yes, many of them. Then I responded, was JC one of the three guys who visited Abraham like Manoah and told him that he would have a son? You say, definitely yes. Then I ask, well, what about the angel that appeared to Hagar? She was with while she was with child, and she was told to go back to Sarai. Was this also JC? Because Hagar, in that text, makes the comment, at least in the English translation or the NIV, although I think in the Hebrew we could easily interpret it that it wasn't so clear that she was calling the angel God. But from the NIV, it appears that she is saying, I have seen God who has seen me, and which is why the place was called Be'er Lahoira or something like that. Anyway, so this would have met the criteria, because this is one of the criteria that you're using here in the Judges text, that they were saying, hey, this is God.
Terms in verse 22 where it says we are doomed to die, because Manoah and his wife said, well, I've seen God. They actually confessed that they saw God. So this is the thing. Carefully read many verses in the Old Testament. You'll see many of these sort of words written in the Old Testament confirming that Jesus Christ did appear many times in the past